Good morning. I'm Chad C. from C Real Estate here in Richmond, Virginia. Have a question for you this morning. Have you ever thought about adding on to your house? Are you thinking now about maybe building an addition to your home? Just a few thoughts on that this morning, if that's something you are contemplating. I've been to a lot of houses over the years where people were trying to decide if they wanted to sell their house and buy something larger or just add on to the house and stay there. The people who think about adding on are generally people who just like their neighborhood, they like their area. And there's a few things to think about if this describes you. Number one is pretty obvious. You hear people say, well, I don't want to outbuild my area or make my home, so much larger than the ones around it that it affects the value. Now, as we think about things like this, one thing to keep in mind is if you plan to stay in the house for the rest of your life and you could add on to it in such a way that you would thoroughly enjoy it, then a lot of these things don't matter. If you're going to be there for the duration, whether you've overbuilt the neighborhood or you've built in such a way that isn't the best from a design standpoint, if you love it and you're going to be there for the rest of your life, somebody else can deal with it when you're not there one day. So that aside, yeah, you can overbuild the neighborhood. You can do too much to the point that if you go to sell it at a later date, you won't get your investment back. You won't get what a house that size would normally get if it were in a neighborhood or an area of other houses that were as large and as nice. So that's one thing to think about. Another is the design of the house, the functionality. It has a lot to do with the value, how functional a house is, how well it flows, how well it makes sense. I was in a house not long ago where a garage was added to the house. And you go in the garage, you go around the house in the backyard and into the garage. From the garage, you walk into the house, but guess where? Boom, right into the master bedroom. I mean, again, if the person's going to be there forever and they love it like that, well, that's fine. But most people would not want the garage entrance right into their master bedroom. And, sometimes we'll go to houses that have been added on and you go through one bedroom to get to another bedroom and maybe even then to get to another bedroom. And most people don't want people passing through their bedroom to get to their bedroom. So there are ways that a house can be added on to that does more harm than good. That if you go to sell it, you're going to have a lot of people who just are not interested in that funky floor plan you've created. Another thing I see a lot of times with people who want to add on to their house is sticker shock. They will invite a contractor over, they'll talk about the addition, and it seems like 9 times out of 10, the cost is just a whole lot more than they ever imagined. And seems like most people decide at that juncture, well, let's sell this and buy another one. It makes more sense economically. But there's been lots of people who have added on to their houses. They've enjoyed it for many years afterwards. We know lots of great contractors. If you ever want to explore that idea, we'd be happy to give you a referral. And rest assured, I've been in homes where you can't even tell it was added on to. It flows perfectly. It's very functional, the floor plan. You look at it from the outside aesthetically. It looks like it was made that way from the very beginning, and it's a beautiful job. And it can be done, and it can be done in areas where I've told people lots of times you cannot outbuild this neighborhood. You can double the size of your house and you'll still be in good shape. It'll still hold its value. But you want to be careful how you do it. You want to do it in a way that makes sense architecturally. Hey, we know people who draw floor plans too. But if you need more guidance, your local realtor can help you. Hope you have a wonderful 2023.